Okay, so we are back, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the paper they showed, and you asked people if anyone knows how to read this, please read it. And I think there's a bit of ignorance there, and I'll try to explain what you're talking about. And I'm going to go to my board here and explain to you, and hopefully you can see okay here. And I will try to do my best to get a proper view of the board. There we go. Alright. So the way you've showed the script, it's a Kufic script, and I'm trying to see the sod. It's very hard to read because it's like, okay, this is my writing. Okay, I wrote. That's how I write. Okay, and you might have problem reading it, but that's just my writing, and this is just Kufic script. Okay. And this I understand, and this just Kufic people will understand. And same as I would write my writing. Now people understand it, right? It's easy. It's it's in a way that everyone can it's standard, right? That's the same difference between this and a normal Quran, which for example has the dots, and and I'll talk to you about the dots in a second. But that's the difference, right? You have my writing. And this is something else that only I understand. Probably some people might understand this. A lot of my teachers complain and say they don't understand my writing. So this is the big difference. I think you're confused about that, and I hope I cleared that out. That there's no difference. And when, for example, this is the standard way of writing the Quran right now for people, and I circled these marks, dialectical marks. And I'll explain to you what that means. But this is what everyone would understand because it's a standard, like a printing way, so everyone would understand. Okay, so I hope that's a bit clear. And in terms of how Uthman revealed how Uthman recorded the Qurans, okay, it was without the marks. Okay, so for example, in this case, right here, he recorded without like these marks right here. Okay, so I'm going to erase the marks. Okay, for example, in this, right? So this is how the Quran was recorded by Uthman. Okay. And then when Islam was spreading again, people were butchering the Quran. Okay, people who didn't speak Arabic were butchering the Quran, and they had a lot of trouble with it. So Uthman wanted to stand there, wanted to teach them how to properly, recite the Quran. And this was later on, of course, it was added. The dots were added later on, so people really know how to read proper Arabic. And it's the same as like you ride a bike and you use those little wheels to help you ride the bike, and then you throw the wheels away when you really learned. And it's the same. There's kids and little kids and people who like really know how to read without those dots. They don't need those dots. Okay, they know the Quran was not revealed. Here's a book and it has dots in it. No. The Quran was the recitation, okay? People preserved it in the book, added the dots so people can learn, but that's not the way God, like He didn't throw a book and, it's for people to make it easy to learn it. But when you learned it, okay? And you recite to someone, you'll be corrected if you're wrong, okay? Because the Quran is not a book, it's a recitation. It was not revealed to people as a book. Okay? It was preserved in the book, and the Quran states that clearly. But it's recitation. That's the main form, okay? So you ask someone, yes, there's one. There's only one. It was a recitation given by God, okay? And I'll tell you, people are like, oh, is there one book? And who told you that it has to be one book? One book, pages, everything, dots or no dots, or why? Who says? Where in the Quran does it claim that? Or where is in the Bible saying that it has to be a book? Where? Who says so? The Quran is not a book. You're making the big mistake of always judging the Quran based on how the Bible and what happened in the Bible with the corruption and the different versions of the Bible's versions. Okay, different books in it. Okay, Catholics having 66 or whatever, and others not. Protestant less than that. In Islam, you'll not find that. You'll not find that there's a verse missing, or that there's parts of a surah missing or something. It's not. There's no such thing. There anywhere you check in the whole world, there is one. Okay, the same recitation, same number. You might think, oh, look at this hafs and warsh, and this, you might be like, there's different recitations. I'll explain to you exactly what that means, but don't be fooled, please. Please, at least if you take something from this lecture, any Muslim, don't tell people exactly what the Quran is. It's a recitation. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. This is the Quran. Go to a little kid, go to a mosque, ask everyone, okay guys, recite to me Surah Al-Fatiha together, recite to me this surah, that. They'll recite all of them together. Go to any other people, from any other scriptures, from any other faith, tell them, recite to me your scriptures in your original form. They will not know. 10 million people recite today the Quran, destroy all the Qurans. Get a Chinese, Pakistani, Romanian, English, whatever Muslim together, they'll come together, they'll be able to do it. Okay, and I was saying, in America, there's a Quran which was written by memory by one of the slaves that was brought from Africa. Okay, and I'll talk to you a bit more about the Quran.